All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. We are back on the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube on April the 25th. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you for watching. As always, my name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. To kick around some interesting topics in society and culture and all that good stuff. So before we get started, as I always like to do, I want to preface this video by saying that we appreciate everyone who is subscribed to the channel, who continues to subscribe to the channel and join the tribe. We certainly appreciate the support and you just kind of joining in on the community as we kick it here in our little corner of the internet. In the YouTube sphere. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. If you have not done so and you happen to catch wind of what we are doing over here on the Conscious Approach channel, please do your boys a solid and hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button on this or any other video that you might catch wind of on this channel. And as always, we invite everybody to join in on the various conversations that we have and let us know what you think. We are not in the business of running a cult, so I frankly do not give a damn whether you agree with me or not. You're not supposed to agree with everything that I say, otherwise it would be a cult, and I have no interest in running a cult. Plus, the world is just a scary place if everybody agrees with me anyway. That would just be
exactly, bro. So what are you talking about?
Right? Yeah, I don't need that. That's a scary, dark, cynical place. But yeah, so thanks to everybody for joining us along this journey. We are in a race to 1,000 subscribers. That is our first preliminary goal, and we are getting there. We certainly appreciate you for joining us along the ride. So, with that out of the way, we are going to go ahead and get things kicked off first, and we are going to talk about LaVar Ball. LaVar Ball, the father of 3 professional basketball players, 2 of whom are in the NBA. Lonzo Ball plays for the Chicago Bulls. LaMelo Ball plays for the Charlotte Hornets. LiAngelo Ball is the other Ball brother, but I do not believe that he is an NBA player. Fact check me on that real quick. I don't think he's on an NBA roster. He's either a leaguer or an international professional. I believe. But be that as it may, LaVar Ball, very outspoken. LaVar Ball once got banned from ESPN because he said to Molly Karam, "You can check me at any time," or something like that. Very innocuous comment, but he got banned from ESPN. Otherwise, he's an outspoken guy. He doesn't mince words. He doesn't bite his tongue. He speaks often loudly on various topics and opinions, one of which he will spare no expense to speak on is, the life of a professional, basketball player and what that means in terms of how you deal with and handle women. And, he's entitled to speak on this. He has 3 sons who play professional, basketball. And LaVar Ball was recently on the Endless Hustle podcast, and he talked about how, as a professional basketball player, or really any professional baller, the odds of you meeting a nice woman are pretty much zero. They're pretty much none, slim to none. He just doesn't see how it's possible, and he thinks that most of these women that you are going to meet while you are doing this thing are questionable from a value standpoint. And even if you try to do things the right way and meet somebody once your playing career is over, then there are other things to consider. So his point basically is that it's just a tenuous situation trying to successfully deal with women in relationships when you are a professional basketball player in particular. So we'll go ahead and play this clip of what LaVar Ball had to say during his appearance on the Endless Hustle podcast. And it will obviously opine about what LaVar Ball had to say. We, of course, find this interesting. It's pretty much right in line with the type of stuff that we like to talk about on this channel. So here is what LaVar Ball had to say. We will listen to it, and then we will opine once the video has concluded.
Check this out.
especially in basketball. You're not gonna find nobody like I found your mom or my mom and dad. Because here's the thing: if you're in this profession, which you got all this fame and notoriety, how are you gonna meet a good girl? You're not, because what you're gonna meet her in the restaurant where you eat, or you're gonna go to a club where you dance, or you're gonna meet her at the arena. So I hate to tell you, you're gonna meet a hoe. Just how it goes, son. So, son, that's the bad part of the life you're gonna get is you never gonna meet a good woman. And by the time you do, let's say you get 30, and then you meet a woman and she 30. You gotta wonder why she by herself at 30.
What happens if one of the kids brings home, in your words, a hoe, and you know that you got a bad
I already seen them. They already bought a few through here. I'm telling you. Oh Lord. Hey, a lot of them look good, and man, but they got different motives. And hey, I just tell them to be careful out there, man. But you never gonna know what you get because usually, where do you meet a nice woman? If you have a job and you go to your job every day and she works at the job, you see her every day. You know what she about. You go to school, you see her all the time. You go to church, you see her all the time. My sons are not going to church every time. They're not in no school, and their job is traveling to 40 different states.
Wow.
All right, so there you have it. Is she gonna be a hoe? You're not gonna be the nice girl because of the lifestyle, basically. So for for the purposes of being, concise with how we deliver this information, before I give the floor to you, I wanted to quickly run through the history of the three sons that
Okay.
inspired LaVar's opinions.
This would be interesting.
So Lonzo's the oldest. He plays for the Chicago Bulls. He is Lonzo is currently dating a woman named Allie Rosell. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. According to an article from the website called Legit, Allie Rosell is an American social media influencer and fashion model.
What?
She rose to fame for posting photos on Instagram. She is also famous for being Chicago Bulls point guard Lonzo Ball's girlfriend. Blah 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 blah. And then here's another important tidbit that I do want to kind of put that out into the atmosphere because I think that it's a pretty important detail. Let's see. It says Rosell rose to fame for her relationship with Lonzo and has kept her dating history before Ball private. However, when Allie and Lonzo briefly broke up in 2021, she began dating Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson is a Filipino American basketball player who plays for the Utah Jazz in the NBA. So that's the first one for Lonzo. So Instagram model slash NBA player dater serial, I would say is fair to say. Uh, then you got the middle boy named Leangelo. Leangelo is the one who is pictured with his lady here on our little graphic there. Leangelo is dating a woman named Nikki Mudaris. Again, I hope I am saying that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Nikki Mudaris was born in 1990. She's 32. And Leangelo, she's like 7 years older than Leangelo. So she's several years older than him. And she is a woman who she was born in 1990. She's 32. According to thefamouspeople.com, Mudaris graduated from the University of Southern California, where she took business and communication. Her relationship with the business has become a huge part of her career success. She dated rapper Molly Mall back in 2012, and a sex tape that featured her surfaced online after their breakup. In 2016, she launched her own lingerie line called Nude by Nikki. So she's also been a supporting cast member of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. She has over 31,000 followers on Instagram. She as well as an Instagram model, and on top of being an Instagram model, had a sex tape where which featured her while she was dating a rapper. And then we have here Lamelo Ball. Lamelo is the youngest. Lamelo is 21 years old, but he is dating a woman who is 34. This woman is named Annalicia Chavez, better known as Anna Montana. Uh, she's a popular name in NBA circles.
What?
Although the Charlotte Hornets star likes to keep his private life a secret, some details just slip out. Montana recently posted a story on Instagram which has caught the attention of people. In the video, she seems to be in a vehicle along with her dog with a special someone else. That special someone else is Lamelo. Um, let's see if I can find any more details about her. Oh, here's a good one. Interestingly, Annalicia Chavez represents the Nova fashion brand, which also employs Bernice Burgo, the girlfriend of Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown. Similar to Brown, Ball's girlfriend is older than him. Chavez is 34, while the Hornet star turns 22 in August. Bernice Burgo is like old school Instagram model. She's kind of in the generation with Melissa Ford and all those people. She's like hitting 40, and she has been around the block in terms of dating rappers and athletes and entertainers. I'm not going to go through that laundry list. The point is, there's a track record with these guys and the types of women that they date. And so they're kind of making LaVar Ball look quite prophetic with some of his comments. But I just wanted to set the stage with that contextually so that we all can be aware of the sons of this guy's dating history, because when he speaks on these things, they come from a particular place. But there you have it. That's all the information that we were able to run down without making this video overly long. So what do you think about what LaVar Ball had to say?
I mean, it was nothing but factual statements. I loved every word of it because it was all accurate. And for a man that knows that, I'm sure he gave his youngins these speeches. And they're still doing whatever the hell they want, apparently. And this older woman trend, I get it, but dating them, I just looked at the Jaylen Brown situation. I didn't know. He's a sharp young man. But then I was like, okay, bro, I guess you're hitting that on a regular, but let's not wife that situation up, But the goal for these girls is to get pregnant. So they just they're rolling the dice every time. And the women love it. And she'll have sex with you like a porn star. She'll do all of that stuff for you. You want to bring a girl in, let's do it. She's cool at first. Then when she gets pregnant, yeah, she's cashing out. Brittany Renner is stepdaddy season all over again. And then, later on, they're just getting a pension for 18 years. It's extortion, dude. And these women and these older women are manipulating these young men, selling them a dream, throwing the cat at him the way he wants it. Because these young girls don't know what to do with this stuff, But these older women, yeah, they can run a good game on these guys. Have them believing that they're going to be some weird power couple and some weird stuff. Hey, we can parlay this into whatever. Ventures. Yeah, the girl at Kmart can't do that. Kmart's still around. Girl, you want a girl from Kmart now? But anyway, yeah, man, get you a nice young lady. You get the pick of the litter, man. I'm Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. You can do whatever you want, bro. These ball kids, I'll just tap on them real quick before what I'm saying, you go ahead and go. But it's written all over their skin, literally. What they think in their brains. We saw them grow up, no tattoos, and we saw them come up and all of that stuff, reality things, but they always wanted to be on. Look at them; they want to be rappers.
Yeah.
So they're living their lifestyle that they grew up watching, and they wanted to get sleeves, and they wanted to get the nice ink and all that other stuff, and all of them. And they're all dating women older than them, and they think it's this thing. They think they're doing something, but they're getting played because they don't even know who they are as people. I'm gonna make that presumption. Because if they did, they would know better and treat themselves better. and not deal with a situation like this where they're obviously gonna get dunked on for the next 18 years. But how about you, bro? How do you feel about this situation? Do you feel Mr. Ball is on point with this one?
Yeah. For the sake of accuracy, only one of them is dating a woman older than them, which is Lee and Lamelo. The other ones are dating women who are either they're older than them or around the same age.
So
Lamelo is
wait,
dating a one who's 34. So Lamelo is dating a girl who's 34, and
how
then
old is this
Jalen
one?
Brown. This one, oh wait a minute, yeah, she might be older too.
She is older.
Yeah, she's older. So yeah, okay, so two of them are dating, and then when you throw Jalen Brown on top of that, Bernice Burgo is like almost 40. Because I've known a Bernice Burgo for years and years and
Yeah, I
years.
remember seeing her in
Bernice
videos
Burgo,
when I watched
yeah,
videos.
right. Yeah, well, Bernice Burgo used to be in Vine comps back in like the early 2010s
Mm.
when Vine was a thing, and they used
Mhm.
to post those videos on World Star Vine comp of the week,
Yeah,
and a lot of them, they'd even post Vine, like they would post twerk Vine comps of the week where it was
goddamn,
just vines of twerking. Um,
hysterical.
so she goes back a long way. Like LaVar Ball is correct, and I think deep down in his soul he's disappointed
Yeah, for
because
sure.
even though he knows better, he cannot impart enough wisdom onto his own children to make them make better choices. And there's nothing that he can do about it. So he has to sit there and watch his sons become potential targets to these sharks. I don't get the age gap thing either. I mean, if you're going to do the stereotypical pro baller entertainer rapper thing and go for these insta thoughts and these other porn chicks and all of that. Like if you're gonna do all of that, at least get the women who are in their physical prime more. At least get, because if you're gonna do it, at least get the ones who are the most physically attractive. I don't like any of it, but I would say if you're gonna go the route, don't get with the ones who are 40. Like at least get with the ones who are like in their 20s. Like I don't get that. That part I don't understand. But this is just more you know, ridiculousness. And, I don't want to make it a racial thing because it really is a lifestyle thing. But you
Mhm.
see more of this with black professional athletes more than other groups. And you can get
Yeah.
into the weeds as to why that is. But this is mostly something that you see with people from our community. And I think part of the reason why is because of the connection between our community and hip hop culture. And in the hip hop culture, these are the types of women that are deemed most desirable. So, because of that connection, I think that's part of the reason why you see black athletes getting into situations with these women more so than other, men from other communities, rather, who are also pro athletes. But it just sucks because Lonzo's already on the hook. Lonzo already had a baby by some social media Instagram model chick, something like that. So he's already in the tank. And unless this woman is a unicorn, uh, he's going to unless this woman is a unicorn and he made some decision that sees him being able to escape that kind of thing this time around, he's doomed to repeat his past mistake. I mean, she's already a documented hip hop. I mean, not hip hop. She's already a documented NBA penis hopper. I mean, while y'all were on a break, she was dating another NBA player. What does that tell you?
What are y'all doing?
It's a judgment thing, and that's my main takeaway from this. Is I am a firm believer. I've come to learn this as I've gotten older and just watch people do dumb shit. I am a firm believer that good judgment, good decision making is a skill. It's not a trait. So we are not all equally born with good judgment. I don't think that. I think that it's a skill that you learn, that you develop, and you learn and perfect it. No different than if you're perfecting a jump shot, or you're perfecting your footwork, or you're perfecting your golf swing, or if you're a quarterback, you need to perfect your delivery and all of that kind of stuff. Judgment, decision making is a skill. Let me take back what I just said. It is a trait. It's a trait from the standpoint that everyone is born with the capacity to have good judgment. But is it something that everybody develops? And furthermore, is it something that everybody develops at an equal rate? Clearly not. It is 100% a skill. And I believe that judgment skills, particularly for men, transfer over into how you make decisions with respect to the women that you deal with in relationships. If you are an individual who is prone to poor decisions and you make bad judgment calls, you'll pick the wrong women. And for a lot of these guys who are pro athletes, they're thrusted into this position and they're at the mercy of their feeds and their music videos and their music, and they can't help themselves. And there's no older person with enough wisdom who can tell them, hey, you need to do better about making better decisions. There's nothing that you can do. If you don't already have those skills about you, when you get into that world, it's going to suck you in and you're not going to be able to control yourself. So all three of these guys and all the rest of these pro athletes, because they're all a dime a dozen. Like there's the ones who maintain good decisions are in the minority. I mean, you can say what you want about LeBron, but LeBron was somebody who, from the time he was 18 years old, was making good decisions.
Yeah.
Business moves, decisions with his career, decisions
Yeah.
with his playing career. You never looked at a move LeBron made and was like, that was an unwise decision. So it stands to reason that he's probably going to conduct himself in the same way when it comes to how he deals with women. There's certain, stories and things on the low about what LeBron does and whatever, and we can speculate on all of that, but it's undocumented.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it's speculative at most.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron, for public consumption, is still married with children, and the marriage is solid, and they're doing their thing. That is no coincidence. LeBron makes good decisions in life. Same thing with Curry. Same thing with the rest. Same thing with the other guys who make good decisions. On the flip side, you got people like the Ball family, not including LaVar, because LaVar was apparently someone who did make good decisions, but his son's not so much. And so clearly that decision-making skill was not quite cultivated to the point that it needs to be in order for them to not make these kinds of choices. I don't know what it is that makes you think getting with a woman who has already dated other NBA players is a good idea. I don't know what it is that makes you say I'm going to go through with this. If it was a little situationship type thing, and you just smashing and y'all just having fun, that's one thing. But y'all are officially a couple. I'm not understanding I don't get it. I'm not understanding how that makes sense. You're dating these Instagram thoughts, these Insta models, these fashion chicks. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm being judgmental, but they're all the same. They're all the same. The book is out on this stuff. And so you reap what you sow when you get with these women, and because of their poor judgment and of their lack of cultivating their own, good decision making skills, there's a decent likelihood that everything LaVar Ball said is going to come to fruition, and they are going to be on the hook with these women for years to come. So sad to see, but also not surprising.
No, not surprising at all. I can't say that I disagree with anything you just said. And the wild part about this, because he mentioned the age gap between Leangelo and this whoever baby lady. The sex tape part is wild. Like how that's so you coming into this knowing she be hopping from ball player to ball player. You coming into this. Her whole body is, the world can see it on a sex tape. Where's your head at, bro? I mean, plastic lips, plastic breasts, plastic ass. Nothing about her is natural. What you want to raise you want? This is the thing with these ball players, man. These women are not interested in you. Period. And that's what the LaVar trying to get to him. They hop from city to city. They travel with the team. And they be at the club. Yeah, they be at the clubs. That's their sport. That's what he was saying. These are professional hoes. And they go after ball players and entertainers. But the there's see the NBA hasn't been around long enough for this phenomenon to be like for women to catch on and make it a thing. Because there's always been groupies, but the game has evolved, and these women now see them as a crop. So that's why when these kids is 18, they hopping on them quick, you know. And if he's a top recruit, he going to Kentucky, he going to Duke. They're in the stands. Brittany Renner's writing the textbook. She's in the stands. So she has no interest in college basketball or college football, but they will be at those games. They will be courtside. So these are professional women doing these things. So their game is tight. Not for old heads, but for these youngins. That's the crop. So they catch them while they're young. They're clearly influenced by culture and not his parents. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part about this that's wow. You know, and that's why we always talk, at least we always talking about the power of quote entertainment. And look at these young men behaving this way when they clearly have a father that cared and sacrificed so much, put everything on the line, make sure those boys was getting exposure at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
So the love was clearly there. And if he's speaking like this, he spoke like that in the past. So for a father that's going through all of this work and effort, for these young men, as soon as they hit the streets, they start getting sleeves. They started doing all this, and nothing publicly wild, just acting like rappers. His father didn't tell him to do that. Those damn songs and those damn music videos warped their brains, and now they walking around looking like this. I'm not saying I have issues with tattoos, but this was fast. It's supposed to be a progression to get a sleeve. That's basically one large tattoo.
I agree. I don't have an issue with them either, but I think that if you're going to get tattoos, much like any other type of decision like that, it should do it because it's an extension of you and it's an expression of you.
Right.
But don't do it to conform and to appeal more to women, which is what they did, I believe. I believe that's what they and most of our people do is they do it to conform to quote unquote culture, whatever the hell that means, and to appeal to women. And that's a weak that is a sorry reason to do stuff like get tattoos, in my opinion.
That's factual, man. And by the way, you know what I'm saying? I am tatted up, by the way. So I don't have issues with tattoos. What I'm getting at is that's what I'm saying. This was so rapid. And these guys aren't even 25, 26 years old yet. And their whole bodies are covered. They could afford it, so they ran and did it. And so it's just like, hey, I'm not hating on that, but that's why I said this is just one large tattoo. And if you get tattoos, there's some of them you go, I shouldn't have got that one. But if you get all of these basically at once, and then you go, damn, I really shouldn't have did that. I want room for one more. Or, you know what I'm saying? Something happened in my life, I want to put that on there, but now I got a smiley face with 2 X's as the eyes. So it's like, hey, man, so they went and did all of this, like that's it, like you said, for conformity reasons. And they do other things that's so conformist. So they were easy for the taking. And that's the whole point of this entertainment stuff. You just got to be mindful and, make sure that while your children are watching these things, you also have to separate the fiction from actual reality and, actually mock and make fun of the goofy stuff that these people are doing versus actually letting them be in a mindset where they think it's cool. But yeah, man, this is wild behavior, man. But this is atypical for anybody that's been consuming this, what people call the culture lately. So
right, yeah, I think this is a great example. If you want to find an example of how palpable, uh, you know, popular culture influences can be, mind control, entertainment, then this is a prime example because you know these kids, for all intents and purposes, those guys grew up with a mom and dad who were there and were involved, but the world got to them, and so this is what you get.
yep.
Yeah, I just think that they're prone to bad. They just make bad decisions. They make bad choices, and you know, when you're somebody who's going to make bad choices, you're going to make bad choices with women. And listen, don't take my word for it. I read the facts off to you. I wasn't making any of that stuff up.
That's
These
crazy.
women were dating rappers and being in sex tapes with rappers, and they were dating other professional ball players. I'm not making that up. That is a history. Now, if you choose to ignore that history and get with these women for anything more than superficial reasons, then that's egg on your face, sir. Um, you made a poor choice in that regard, and so you're going to have to live with whatever happens as a result. And I'm not trying to say that I want something negative to take place, but the odds are that it will. Um, and these women will be able to extract whatever they need to extract and then move on to the next mark, whoever the next NBA player or whomever it is. It's always these NBA and NFL guys. Like, you don't see too much of this stuff in Major League Baseball where the majority of the players are Latino, or you don't see too much of this in hockey where the majority of the players are like white guys. I only really see this in the black sports. Somebody please break that down to me. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. I want to know
I,
why.
I can psychoanalyze real quick. So
Go ahead.
here's my psychoanalytics. So granted, again, man, LaVar seemed to be very involved with his young men and stuff like that, but society emasculates them. And so even though he's a masculine dude, man. He's guys doing all kinds of, starting his own brand, starting his own league, all this stuff. So they had a great example, but society emasculates them with this conditioning and this programming. And so because these guys are more or less, to me, they're not men yet. And so because they're not men yet, they're looking for like this person to control them. And so these women control them because they don't want to make decisions. They haven't grown up yet. But society, when they ingest this stuff, it's difficult to have like a more mature mindset when you're 18, 19, and then you consume all of this crap. That stuff is not teaching you to build. It's teaching you to rock ice, doing what John Morant does, and he in post game stuff with a diamond grill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like he can afford it. He's doing all of this stuff, but then look at John Morant's behaviors. It's immature. And I had a professor that brought this up. He said that rap music is prolonged childhood. There's nothing in there that tells you how to grow up and be a man and handle responsibilities. Everything's partying, selling drugs, having salacious sex with any kind of woman, calling women out their name, all this disrespectful, young, immature stuff. And then as the rappers that we used to listen to as we grew up, some of them still have to talk about cocaine. It's amazing, you know. And shout out to Bun B and Method Man and Nas and people like that who make age appropriate music. That's what I call it, age appropriate music. But for anybody out there that's still trying to do whatever, sound like these young people are still trying to be young. It's corny and lame, but that speaks to the mindset of what they're promoting to children. It's to never grow up. So these guys consuming this stuff, they hit out in 18, 19, whatever, instead of having a proper mindset and seeing what their father did, they was rather seeing what the streets was doing. And that's the power of that music, man. So yeah, I think this is a great case study for all of us to be watching here. Just for anybody that has their own children growing up or whatever. You don't have to be a Ball family person to have your child grow up and listen to this goofy stuff. And then as soon as they hit 18, 19, they want to run and get sleeves and gold grills. Trust me, I tried to do it myself. And I'm telling you, that lifestyle leads to nothing. So yeah, man, wild stuff, man. But hey, shout out to LaVar Ball, man, for keeping it 100.
Yeah, it's just there appears to be an interesting connection between these types of dynamics and black people, and you see this more so in these black leagues mostly. and it's an interesting thing. But y'all got to stop with this stuff, bro. Seriously, like I'm not touching a woman who I know was with rappers. And I'm not going to. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. You've been with how many NBA players? You have a track record for this,
Yeah, I
and you
could really
still
read
get
your
with them.
facts.
It's unbelievable. But hey, man, this that. But that's the thing. Like, yes, the rhetoric that is propagated in the music and throughout the culture that exists around the music says everybody's woman is for everybody.
Yeah,
Body counts don't matter. And you'll pay for her surgery.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yep.
it's making all of this permissive, and it just that does not lend itself to a positive non-dysfunctional relationship. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't. It just doesn't. I don't care how liberal we get. That is goofy shit. That shit is goofy to me.
It's goofy.
Yeah.
But that's
But
wild, man.
whatever.
I
Yeah.
heard that in a few songs where guys were literally flexing, that they paying for a girl's body to get done, and it's just like
Yeah.
that's not a flex.
Yeah, Two Chainz said, take you to Doctor Miami for your surgery." Lil Baby said in the song with J Cole. J Cole had the song with Lil Baby on J Cole's last album. Um, I'm hearing it in my head, but I can't think of the name of the song right now. Um, but yeah, Lil Baby in his rhyme is like, "I'll pay for your whatever," he said. Mentioned something about paying for surgeries, but that's a thing now. Like, not only can I buy you cars and clothes and other things that you
Oh,
haven't earned or don't deserve, but I can now pay for your surgeries too.
plastic fetish.
French Montana, the same thing he said. They call me Mister Get Your Tummy Gone because he'll apparently pay for a woman to get a smaller stomach. That to
Wow.
me is goofy. These guys are goofy, and these are the role models for the young black men.
They
It's sad.
exactly.
It really is. It's sad. But y'all want to, people want to say don't be bent out of shape. But this stuff is goofy, bro. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Rappers in our generation weren't rapping about stuff like this. Like this
No.
is just new weirdo stuff. And these kids are latching onto it like, you know, infants latching onto a lactating teat.
Well said, sir. Well said. Oh man.
Oh God.
Damn, plastic fetish. Crazy.